Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. I know I am. We've been chatting to amazing guests for you guys. And next up, we have an amazing guest. Um, I'm sure you guys have seen Walking Dead. Ladies and gentlemen, Chandler Riggs.
Hey, how's it going?
All good in yourself, bro?
Amazing, amazing. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much, dude. Thank you for giving us your time.
Of course. Happy to do it.
Where about are you right now in the States?
I'm in Los Angeles, so it's actually really foggy right now. It's weird. It's usually like bright and sunny and like the same thing every day. So it's
Right.
nice having some variation for a change.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yo, man, let's go back to Walking Dead. You've been on television most of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's weird to say that, but yeah.
How old were you when you went for the audition for Walking Dead?
I was 10 when even when I started on Walking Dead. I was 10. Yeah.
Did you know what was happening around you?
I had been on other sets before. Walking Dead wasn't my first project. I had been on a couple other films, and I had done some theater stuff from before then. But Walking Dead was my first like really big role that I had. So I had like and plus I was a huge fan of zombies and zombie video games and zombie movies, everything like that, before I was even on Walking Dead. So I was literally living like a dream come true. It was the coolest
Wow.
thing ever for me.
That,
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, such a young actor in a show like Walking Dead, were you ever freaked out by how good the costumes were around you? Or did you find it really
I
fun?
loved it. I loved it. It was so much fun. I mean, because the zombies, they obviously there's normal people like when they're not
Yeah.
when they say cut, it's like they're normal people that go and like smoke a cigarette and like they like do they act like all the other actors that are on the set. So it's and then they you eat lunch with them, so it's it's super weird, but no, it's awesome. I loved being a part of it. I loved all the zombies, all the makeup, and it was super cool even from the start. It was awesome.
Being so young, I know you said you did theater and you did other productions before, but how did you find it juggling schoolwork and also this acting career and like keeping up with your lines and a bunch of other stuff that comes into being a professional actor? Did you find it difficult, or were you guided pretty well?
It honestly wasn't that bad, to be honest. I was in, so I was homeschooled for the first, so I was in public school for like season 1, and then I was homeschooled for the next couple seasons, and then from like season 4 onward, I was in high school and like on the show at the same time, all the way until until Carl passed away. It was like I was in school the whole time, and it was great. Like all my teachers were super supportive and really helpful with all of it, because they knew that I wasn't like just skipping class or something. They knew that I was
Right.
actually
You had a
getting my
career.
work done, and I was like a decent student. Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to like do good in school. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to have an actual good education and have a normal life outside of Walking Dead. So I really put a lot of time and effort into my schoolwork and everything, and my teachers appreciated that, and they helped me out where they could. So it was pretty easy, and all the kids at school, they treated me no differently because they knew me before I was on The Walking Dead. So it wasn't even like they didn't really care that I was on the show, so they didn't treat me any differently. It was pretty much a normal high school experience for me.
And how was it at home? Because I know, like, as a kid, when I asked my mom for sneakers, she said no, and it was usually because of money. But now it's different for you. Where you're like, no, I'll pay for it, mom. I'm good.
Yeah, we tried to live like as normally as possible. We didn't and try to be smart about with like our money and everything, because it's easy to like you see all these stories about child actors like going off the rails with like drugs and everything else. It's like there's you got to be smart about it, and you got to be grateful for everything that you have, and And luckily, being from Georgia, and that's where we filmed the show, I definitely had the right parents, and because they were both teachers. It's not like they were making a crazy amount of money before, so I just got really fortunate that I was raised in such a humble family. So I'm just happy to be here and not have it all blown on crazy things and be another one of those stories.
Totally. Do you remember your first day on set?
I do. It was really hot. It was really, really hot. They had me just washing dishes in the background, and God, it was so hot. I just remember sitting there and just I remember the pan burning my hands because of how hot the water and everything in the pan was, because I was cleaning it, and it was, whew, it was really, really hot. Yeah.
Look, with The Walking Dead, you playing such a young character in the show, were there any scenes that you found traumatic? Because I remember you get shot. Were there any scenes that made you ask questions when you got home?
I think the first time that acting in a scene had affected me out of character was when Carl had to kill his mother, and just because that whole sequence took 2 days for us to shoot.
Yeah.
And it was just really brutal, because it was just crying nonstop for 2 days straight. So, and luckily Lauren Cohen, she was there, and Sarah was there. Everyone was there and doing the scene with me, so it wasn't I was just alone. But it's still it was really weird, when they said cut, but just not being able to really pull myself out of it. And since then I've learned ways to really pull myself out of character, but it was really weird. It was a really weird experience, and I experience it a lot more now that I'm older, but luckily I have ways to get out of it. But yeah, that was probably the first time that something had really affected me. It was so bizarre.
Right. I know on Twitch your handle is sorry, it's chair handler. And just judging by the chair you're sitting on, you're a pretty serious gamer. That's a gamer's chair. That's not for writing emails.
Yeah. Yeah. That was just a nickname that one of my friends had given me from years and years ago. But yeah, I've been into gaming since before I could read. So it's kind of and I've been building computers since I was 12. So it's kind of just natural for me to stream me playing video games and everything while all this quarantine stuff is happening.
Right. And what's your favorite game right now?
Oh man, right now I'm bouncing around. There's so many super popular games that I'm bouncing. I wouldn't say that I have a single favorite game, but right now the really popular games that me and everybody else is playing is Fall Guys and Among Us, and of course the new Call of Duty, and all that stuff. It's great. I love it.
Right. Do you remember the first game you ever played?
Yeah, it was Pokemon Red. It was when I was 3, I think. I think one of my cousins had given it to me, and yeah, I went back and I found the old cartridge a few years back, and I looked back at I had given all the Pokemon completely. I couldn't even read the nicknames that I had given them, because I couldn't read when I was typing the nicknames. I was just typing random letters, so it's ridiculous. But yeah, that was my first game. It was great.
Look, starting off so young, and especially on a show like The Walking Dead, I know I keep bringing it up. When Halloween came, you must have had the best hookups for costumes, dude.
I did, actually. Well, ironically, the first year that the show was on, it came on Halloween in 2010, and so I dressed up as Comic Carl. So I had before like Carl in the show had like his hat and like a gun or anything else. I dressed up as Comic Carl, and I went from door to door, you know, trick or treating. But I was telling people like, hey, I'm on TV tonight. Go watch The Walking Dead on AMC, and I'd be like, I'm on your TV right now. Like, go watch. And they were like, "Oh, you're such a cute cowboy," and I'm like, "No, I'm on TV." And yeah, it was interesting. And in a couple of the years, it was, you know, we would film on Halloween sometimes, and a couple of years I had the special effects team put like zombie makeup all over me. Cool. So a couple of the years I went up straight up as a zombie, just like I had like full on makeup and hair and everything. It was really, really cool.
That's so cool, man. Sorry, I wanted to ask, like, when it comes to the success of the show, I know you're very young at the time, but when did you feel like you're on a successful show? Could you feel it from going to school, or was it just word of mouth, or people letting you know on set that your show's doing so well?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really gradual thing. It wasn't like it was like instant or overnight, like it was for some of the people that were like joining the show later. But I think the first time that I was like, wow, this is huge, was at the end of season 3. It was like our last day of shooting. We were all going around giving like a speech, and Andy, the guy who played Rick, he mentioned that we had like 17 million people watching wow. the premiere, and I was like, that's a lot of people. that is a lot of people, and I think that was the first time that I realized that like this is actually really big, and it's only gonna keep going up because what we're doing is pretty good. So yeah, but it was still really gradual, so it wasn't like, you know, instant or anything.
Right, and I know now that you've gotten into music.
Yeah, I've been into electronic music for years and years and years, for longer than I've been on Walking Dead. You know, so it's only natural for me to start making it.
Right, and what's your thing like? Are you trying to perform live, or have you been doing live shows? Obviously not now, but are you trying to go on a tour?
Yeah, I've been producing music for 5 years. I've been playing shows for I was playing shows when I was 18 and 19, a little bit when I was 20, but I haven't played a show in a while. It's just, you know, it's a matter of just like, you know, you want to make the you want to enjoy the stuff that you make. You know, you want to enjoy the stuff that you put out. So in the last like year and a half, I've just been working on stuff kind of quietly right. until I'm kind of ready to like start playing shows again, because I have played shows in the past and I love it. It's so much fun being on stage and DJing and everything. It's so much fun. And I can't wait to get back into it. Just waiting for the right time.
I'm sure it's a totally different feeling with performing live shows. It's instant gratification, and compared to filming a show on set and then putting it out months later, immediately on stage you're feeling the love from that audience. You should come down to South Africa. We have a big electronic scene down here.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. It'd be so much fun.
As soon as you're allowed to travel, maybe come and DJ at the next Comic-Con.
There we go. Now we're talking.
That's a gig. I'll get my people to call your people.
Sounds good.
So, if you hadn't started acting at such a young age, I know that's something that you wanted to do. Apart from acting and music, is there any other job that you'd see yourself doing?
Oh man, I don't know. When I was really young, I wanted to be a game designer, and I still think it'd be pretty cool to be working on and designing games and things like that. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I kind of decided to. I mean, when I was planning on going to university and to college, I was going to major in sociology. But now I'm looking back on it, there's not really much that I could do with a degree in sociology. So right. I don't really know where I was going with that. But I don't know. I honestly, I've been putting all of my time and effort into acting and streaming and music that I haven't really thought of much else.
Right. Do you find with going for auditions, like you went from Cole to Patrick, right? Those are two pretty serious roles. Um, what do people what do you enjoy more? Would you want to go into comedy?
It'd be fun. Comedy is it's really difficult because I'm a very, slow and like drawn out and dramatic actor, and comedy is really quick and fast paced and like on the heels of one another, and it's a really hard, it's hard to like break it out of my comfort zone. I love it. I love doing it, but there's a comfort zone that I'm constantly trying to break out of when I'm doing like comedic work in my acting classes or whatever. But I would love to. I would love to do a comedy or something completely different one day. It'd be a lot of fun.
When going from The Walking Dead to a million little things, what was that transition like? Because you had grown up with the cast of The Walking Dead, and now you in a whole new, you grown up adult, and you're in a whole new show. What was that like?
It was really interesting because with being on A Million Little Things, it was the first show, or it was like the first set that I was on that I wasn't treated like or not like treated like a kid, but I wasn't viewed as a kid by the rest of the cast and crew, and I felt like, when I was on set and whenever I was in Canada, I felt like I was an adult, and it was really weird. It was really, really weird. Especially the amount of hours that I could work, because as a minor you can only work 10.5 hours on a set, and so when I was working on My Little Things, it was like we'd be pushing 14-15 hour days, and I'd be like, man, I want to go sleep.
You want a nap? Can I please nap? I'll be back.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a really interesting transition, but it was so much fun. It was great, like still being at that age where I could like hang out with like the kids on the set, and like I would bring like my Nintendo Switch or whatever, and we'd play like Super Smash Bros. Or I'd be able to like go out to to a bar with the adults and drink. It was a really unique and really fun experience that it was just awesome, and I really hope we get to go back. It'd be really cool.
Right. That's cool. And look, with the music thing, have you ever thought of collaborating with other artists? Because you said you're producing.
I've worked with other artists before. I love it. I learned so much from other people. I've worked with a bunch of my friends, and it's great. I just seeing other people's workflow and seeing how they work, and it's always inspiring to me.
Right. That's cool. We got a couple questions from your fans. Do you mind answering them?
All right. Of course. Yeah.
Sweet. Debbie would like to know, what can we look forward to from you next?
Well, I live stream on Twitch like almost every day. So that's kind of like my main thing in between acting and whatnot is my live streams. And yeah, I do it next week. It's pretty much just going to be every day. It's just me live streaming. That's kind of what it's been since the start of quarantine, is just streaming like nonstop. So I got to keep myself busy somehow. And I love doing it. I love playing video games, and I love showing people the video games that I love. So it's a lot of fun. That's kind of the main thing I do.
Somebody who's been in the industry for so long, from such an early age, do you still see the magic when you watch like film and television? Like, are you binge watching anything, or do you watch it now like, I know what's happening? You know what I mean? Like, because you know the behind the scenes.
Yeah, there's a little bit of both. It's like, a lot of times there is, there are films where they have that where it's like it's so well done that it has that magic factor of like, wow, I have no idea how they pulled that off. There's some films that it's like, it's magic how they did like that performance or that shot or that or that score. You know what I mean? There's so many like different aspects behind it that I can really appreciate at a different level, but I don't know. I feel like I can watch things from a non-subjective point of view and a subjective point of view. It's kind of just like whatever you know, if I really want to hone in and like, you know, judge and critique something, then
Yeah.
I can, or I can just like kind of watch it just from a viewer point of spectator, a viewer point of view.
Would you ever score a film?
That's kind of the end goal for me is to, you know, is to help write and direct and score like a film. And I would love to. I shadowed Bear McCreary and his team. They're the people that do all the music for Walking Dead, and it was so cool. It was so cool. I went there to their studio a handful of times and just watched them work on the music for another one of their shows that they do, and it's such a cool process. I would love to do something like that. Yeah, it'd be really cool to break into that whole world.
I'm sure it
I
must.
love it.
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, carry on. Sorry.
Oh no. I was just I was saying a lot of the music that I produce is like very orchestral and cinematic. So
Yeah.
it's like it's like perfect, you know.
That's sweet.
But sorry. Go ahead.
No, that must be awesome to be like in the editing suite and just seeing something come alive.
It's so cool. It's really cool because you know when you listen to a soundtrack, it sounds like they just like wrote the music and then they just like slapped it over the movie or the show. But when they're making it, they're making it with every with the final edit. So every like, you know, every pull of the string of a violin, every key on the piano, everything is like is synced to what's happening on the screen. That's what makes it just like so that much more powerful. It's really cool.
Have you ever seen? There's a documentary on Netflix right now. It's a history of kung fu movies and how they would score the movie, the action scenes on set. So the guys were like massive clappers for punches and slaps. It's pretty hectic. There's like 10 dudes around the fight scene, just waiting for somebody to get punched.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
But
that sounds really cool.
Since you're a gamer, would you score a gaming a video game?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. I've got. I mean, some of my favorite like scores are from video games. You know, and it's it'd be super cool. I would love to score a video game.
What's your DJ name?
My alias on that is it's Eclipse, and it's on all my stuff is on Spotify and SoundCloud, and my Spotify is really janky though. It's some rapper keeps on releasing on my page, and I'm trying to get that to stop, but it's really frustrating. So SoundCloud and Apple Music are more reliable.
Okay, cool. We'll check that out.
Yeah.
We've got another question for you. Furious Kitty, I think it's Furious Kitty, right? Yes, Furious Kitty would like to know what was your all-time favorite scene to film as Carl?
It was so in season 4. There's a scene. I think it's episode like 4 or 5. There's a scene where they're at the prison and the fences are like falling down pretty much because there's so many walkers and it's getting overrun. It's Rick and Carl, and so the fences come down. There's a horde of walkers, and then you know Rick and Carl pull out like machine guns. They just mow them all down. So that scene was so in Georgia there are you know lots of labor laws obviously, and one of them is that you can't like for children. So and one of them was that you can't like touch or hold a firearm on set until you're 14, and so they scheduled that scene to shoot on the night of my 14th birthday, because up to that point, I was using like, you know, prop guns and prop like because we would actually shoot blanks, actually shoot real guns and just shoot blanks.
Yeah.
And the rest of the cast was always able to, and I would just be like dink 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 with my gun. So they scheduled it, you know, on the night of my 14th birthday, and so I was so excited. It was gonna be great. It was my first time like shooting a gun on set, and I couldn't wait. And so when it got to that point, we'd finished all the other like shots for that scene. It was just to start, you know, actually shooting. So we were just kind of sitting around waiting for midnight, and you know, it almost got to that point, and like then all the cast and crew started like counting down, and then it hit midnight, and everyone was cheering. And then Andy, Rick, he came over and knighted me with a machine gun. He was like, "Give this man some bullets." And then we just like went and just blasted for the next however many hours. And oh man, it was so much fun. It was so great. And then we got to do it all again the next night because we didn't finish filming. So we go back and do it again, and it was great. So much fun.
That's a cool 14th. That's a cool 14th birthday. I went to my
very
grand's
cool
house.
14th birthday.
that sounds a lot better. We have another question for you, sir.
Great.
Happy Chappy would like to know what was your favorite season from The Walking Dead?
It was probably season 4, just because I think that was the first season that they really started to. Well, seasons 3 and 4 were when they started to give Carl like a real like meaningful arc outside of just being an annoying little kid. So getting the chance to really grow as an actor into the role of Carl was really fun. So like they gave me so much good stuff in both seasons 3 and 4, and that was kind of really where I grew the most as an actor was in those seasons. And yeah, it was great. I had the time of my life on those 2 years.
Growing up with the character of Carl, do you feel like now in your normal day life that you can pull things from Carl?
I feel like my acting now that I've invested so much time and effort into making it so much better, I feel like Carl is he was my first character that I really like developed, and the thing is that I didn't put a lot of effort into developing him, but now I put in serious time and effort into developing each and every one of my characters.
Right.
So Carl is like such a, you know, it's such an ingrained character, but it's at the same time, in my eyes, underdeveloped. And, you know, there's not nearly as much work put into it as I have put into all my other characters. It's really weird. So when I started kind of building out like my technique now, I don't really draw on anything from Carl because it's so like underdeveloped that it's kind of it's hard to pull anything from it. So everything that I do now is way more in depth and way more just deeper, you know. And
Right.
and so it's kind of counterproductive to pull things from Carl when he's not an as in-depth thing as my techniques now. If that makes sense.
Did you feel like you're a lot more involved when it came to the creating of Patrick?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think just because, you know, working on Walking Dead, it was kind of all I had ever known. And I didn't really feel it's unfortunate that I didn't really like push as hard as I really could have. And because once I moved out to LA and I was doing school at the same time. So my focus was kind of all over the place. But when I moved out to LA, acting was like my only focus. And so I poured my heart and soul into acting and working on a million little things and PJ and everything. I really got the chance to pour everything that I had been learning into that character, and and into fleshing out everything that I had, been learning. So it was really, it was a really great like experience to be able to push my boundaries as an actor.
Which person from the cast really helped and guided you when you first got onto the set of Walking Dead? Was there somebody you
I
could
mean,
look up to?
Yeah, I would say Andy, the guy that played Rick, he
Yeah.
was definitely the like #1 guy on set. He was the coolest. He was the best person that they could have cast for Rick, because just his energy on set was always, he was always so happy to be there, and always so like ready for the day, even though it was going to be 16 hours for him. He was like, all right, here we go. Even 7 years in, and like month like 5 of filming straight, he was like, all right, let's do this, let's go. And it was always so admiring seeing the dedication from someone like that for so many years. And I don't know, it was always someone that was great to look up to, and he was always super great on set and great to talk to, and just a really great guy. You ask anyone, they will say Andy for sure, because he's amazing.
That's cool, man. We have another question for you.
Great.
Oh, Connor would like to know, if you ever made a video game, what genre would it be and what would you call it?
Oh man, I have not gotten that far at all yet. Man, I honestly, I have no idea. I would, I have no idea. I honestly, I love sci-fi in general, like sci-fi in all mediums of entertainment. So it'd be really cool to make some sort of sci-fi game, or be a part of some sort of sci-fi game. But I have not a clue what I would call it or what it'd be about. I'm sorry, Connor.
Are you surprised at like what happened with The Walking Dead and the games that were made, and just how far people took it?
Oh, absolutely. I got the chance to, because I hadn't played through all of the Walking Dead like Telltale games until last year, and man, they're incredible. They're so good, and it's awesome to be a part of, something of the same name. It's a real honor, and even the Walking Dead VR game that came out earlier this year, it's incredible as well. So any time that there's something related to Walking Dead, it's like really high quality in like any medium of entertainment, and it's really cool to like say that I was a part of something of the same name. So it's really cool.
That's cool, man. We have another question. Yes. Which character from The Walking Dead did you like the best? Jane, Rick, or Carol? Shane, sorry, Shane.
Oh man, I think I like Shane the most. I mean, obviously Rick and Carol are great characters, but Shane and John Brenthal just brought such an awesome dynamic to the set and to the show. He brought his character from the comics to the next level, and it was really awesome to see that, to work with someone like in that caliber, and even as a viewer to watch it, it's incredible. It's such an inspiring performance seeing him as Shane, because it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, it's great.
Sweet. We have another question. We have another 2. We have another 3 questions.
All right.
Oh, what's up for the future? More acting or pro gamer?
Huh. I mean, I'm auditioning for everything that comes my way, and I mean, I've gone on hundreds of auditions since I moved out to LA. It's just a matter of when the right project is going to come along. So yeah, I'm actively trying to land something, but as an actor, it's it is not easy. I get people telling me a lot. That's like, why aren't you in other things? It's like I can't. I'm trying. Like it's hard. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just kind of like, you know, playing a lot of video games because I don't know what else to do. Honestly,
Right.
that's why I'm just streaming a lot. Yeah,
And the music.
exactly. Yeah, music and
Favorite
streaming
album,
everything.
quickly. What's your favorite album?
Oh man, my favorite album ever. God. Probably the album Skin by Flume came out years ago, but it's an album in electronic music that's like a staple of electronic music. It's incredible.
Right. Another question. Have you ever read the Walking Dead comics?
Yeah, the day that I got the audition for Walking Dead was when I started reading the comics, and I immediately caught up. I think they were in like the 60s or 70s, like in terms of issues when I like started reading them, and I read it from then all the way up until the end, and man, it was so bizarre, like having like seeing the comic books end, because like the comics were a big part of my life too. You know, being a
Yeah.
part of Walking Dead, was a big part of my life in general. But like I would read the comics all the time and stay up to date, and anytime a new comic would come out, me and the only other person on the set that read the comics was Tom Payne, the guy who played Jesus, and so we would talk about what's happening, you know, in the show right now, and like what's to come in the comics, and like how they're gonna adapt it, and it was just a huge part of my life. So seeing the comics end was really, man, it was weird. I wasn't expecting it to like be as like hard hitting as it was, but yeah, it's a great comic book, and I want to actually reread them because I have all of them. I want to go back and read them again, but it's just a matter of when.
Right. We have another question for you. Do you play Dungeons and Dragons?
I don't. I have a couple of friends that have like, you know, have active like, you know, D&D lobbies that they do like on like a weekly thing, and I've been trying to get in on it, and I haven't gotten the chance to really dive into it. I would love to. It'd be a lot of fun because I do a lot of like in video games, like role playing as different characters in games, you know, while interacting with other people. So it'd be it's already like halfway to Dungeons and Dragons. It's just a matter of like being a part of those lobbies. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Right. We have one more question for you. Tabang would like to know, would you say that The Walking Dead created a bond between you and Andrew Andrew Lincoln?
Definitely, yeah. I actually, I don't even have. He hasn't. I'm pretty sure he has a cell phone now, but for some reason he didn't have a cell phone. Like, I just emailed him a couple days ago, and just to check in and see how he's doing because I haven't seen him in years. And yeah, it definitely has. And yeah, it's been a while since I've seen him, but I can't wait to see him again.
Sweet. Dude, thank you
Yeah,
so much. I have one more question.
absolutely.
If you were a superhero, what would your powers be?
Probably telekinesis. I think being
Right.
able to like float over to my fridge and like grab a drink and like float back to my chair. That'd be pretty great.
Especially for now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Dude, the fans have been so excited watching you. Thank you so much for answering all the questions. Thank you for being so humble and awesome,
Absolutely.
dude. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It was great.
All good, man. All the best. And I'm gonna check out your music, Eclipse.
Eclipse. Yes. Thank you,
Sweet.
man. I appreciate it.
All right, cool,
All
bro.
right.
All the best.
Thank you. See ya.
Sweet. Ladies and gentlemen, there was Chandler Riggs. He has a word from our sponsors. Don't go